we start with the Saraswati Vandana.
Yes, ma'am. We can start.
Please put the that invite on the screen and play the Saraswati Vandana.
पद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
A very good morning to all of you. I would like to extend my warm welcome on behalf of Srimati MMK College of Commerce and Economics to you all present here. Introduction of Srimati MMK College of Commerce and Economics cannot be confined to the words limit, but abide by my duty. Only I could say that this is the college which is a leader in commerce education. So on historical background, Srimati MMK College of Commerce and Economics had been established in 1961, and it is bannered under the flagship of HSNC board, that is Hyderabad Sindh National Collegiate Board, and in the memory of Vidyasagar Principal K.M. Kundnani, it had been established. This college looks for education differently. This is consistent, constant, competent, creative, passionate, committed college to establish a learner-centric, conducive quality education in the area of commerce. Over the years, we are one of the leading college in the queen of suburbs, that is Bandra. This institute every year serving 4,000 students on its roll. Once it is said that, and we do believe, as our predecessors taught us, a college degree is not the sign of its finished product, but it is the indication of a person prepared for the life. And this program is about that sensitization only, that how much we are sensitizing to our kids, to our men, to women for their life. Now, this COVID situation is again where we are following the same rule. The rule says that sensitization to women is far, far more important in our men-dominated city, country, economy, society, everywhere. Now, how this COVID situation is saying that follow women rather than men. May it looks little ridiculous, but definitely I could say that here women means W, wash your hands. O, obey social distancing. M, mask up yourself. E, exercise and eat well. N, no unnecessary traveling. So women is there. We are praying to the women. We are pleasing to the women. We are upgrading the women. We are doing everything for the women through our WDC committee and Professor Ravneet, Professor Pishori, everywhere they are putting their hard efforts to bring this kind of society where even the men will follow a woman. This kind of sensitization program had not been even stopped during the lockdown period. I congratulate my principal. I congratulate Ms. Ravneet and her team to carry on with such a nice program, and definitely welcome to our Madam Bora and Maya Shahani Madam, who is always there with us. Always means Maya Shahani is the mother for us. So like a mother, she is standing always behind to us. I welcome you all. Thanks a lot, Ravneet. Now up to you.
Thank you so much, Megha ma'am. This particular program that we are having today, this is under the aegis of the Women and Gender Development Cell of our college. Just to tell everybody little, I won't take much of your time, but the Women and the Gender Development Cell of Srimati MMK College, we want to create a gender just society, and we want to sensitize the students and the faculty members to uncover all the implicit biases that are inbuilt into this society. We also aid in the overall personality development of the students. And today, through this, we organize various workshops and seminars and programs just to promote the general well-being of not only the students, but also the teaching and the non-teaching staff. So this was just a little intro about our Women and the Gender Development Cell. I now invite our beloved principal, Dr. C.A. Kishore S. Pishori, to address the audience. Over to you, sir. Sorry, sir, please unmute yourself.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Ravneet.
Yes, sir.
We started with Saraswati Vanna, the goddess of learning. And today in COVID times, it's very important that we learn. I would say unlearn and relearn has become the two biggest mottos in the COVID time. And I remember here our own beloved, Dr. T.L. Vaswani sir, who started the first women drive for education. If you want to be a change, women are the leader. And let me tell you, in every walk of life, change and brand, both are important requirements. Here we have two dynamic magnets. One, Dr. Maya Shahani, madam, who has been a very great instrument of change for at least me, myself, because whatever programs in MMK are there, practically she is there some way or the other way, whether it is internships of banking insurance students, whether it is learning for disabled, and today's program also. She is a driving force in our whole HSHC board, Hyderabad National Collegiate Board, where 14 colleges are there. And every morning for the last 65, 66 days, she has been putting her big blessings on her by her words. I'm thankful to Maya madam for being a, I would say, driving force for change. Brand. And what else I could have promised a brand than Farhan? Farhan is a great brand ambassador for herself and for every institution which she speaks. And thank you, Maya madam, for bringing that brand into our institution. She will be, I hope, the way she will speak, because I don't want to be in between her and the speech, but she will carry lots of images of not only the MMK College, but the Hyderabad National Collegiate Board, which is a very beautiful umbrella, let me tell you. It has come out with a university In the next 5 or 6 days, we are coming out with a university also, madam. So I hope you will be a brand ambassador for the university also. Thank you, madam.
I take this opportunity since Sir has said so much about Maya ma'am. All of us know Maya ma'am very, very dearly and very, very well. But I would just like to take this little opportunity to introduce Maya ma'am to the world. So I would just like to, it's a great honor for me to introduce our chief guest, Mrs. Maya Shahani, who's present here. She, ma'am, is, as we know, the trustee of the Thadumal Shahani Trust and Governing Board, member of our HSNC board, vice chairman of the Global Dialogue Foundation, and founder trustee of the Women's Movement for Peace and Prosperity under the aegis of the Times Foundation. Ma'am is also the education board member of the Sadhu Vaswani Mission and the Priyadarshini Academy. She's a patron of the Cancer Patients Aid Association and governing board member of the Bombay Mothers and Children Welfare Society, as well as the chairperson of the Justice H.K. Chainani's Elder Home. Ma'am is the chairperson of the Sage Foundation and chairperson of the Thadumal Shahani Center for Management. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. It's so very encouraging when you are between us. I now invite Mrs. Maya Shahani, our chief guest, to share a few words with us. But before that, ma'am, I would just like to tell you a small thing. We had invited our speaker here, and it was a great occasion, for us to have this webinar for everybody. We also thought of sharing with the world our library bulletin, which, it's a unique endeavor. And I would like to you to address the audience for us, definitely. And I'd also like you to release the library bulletin for us. I understand that we have a little, shortcoming here, that we cannot have your presence between us, but we try to do it on a virtual platform. So ma'am, as soon as you will say, I release the bulletin, we will play the bulletin online and it will be released. This is the maximum we could do. I know we are not doing justice to it, but in these, today's times, I thought this was the only thing we could do. So ma'am, if you could please, come on board, address us into the audience, and also release our bulletin. Over to Maya Shahani, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Pishori and Ravneet, for inviting me here today. And I'm so happy that the Women's Development Cell has organized this event because, as you mentioned, I'm the chairperson emeritus of the Women's Movement for Peace and Prosperity. And I'm also working on unity and diversity through Global Dialogue Foundation as the vice chairperson. So Women's Movement for Peace and Prosperity gives a voice to the voiceless women. It was started by Indu Jain, who's the chairperson of the Times Group, and she made me the first chairperson of Women's Movement. And she believes a lot that it's women who can lead the way, like you mentioned just now. Dr. Pishori also said, being a man, he said, follow the women. So I was very happy to hear this. Women are also very good leaders, and they're leaders of change. And Indu ji, when she attended the UN conference, it was a peace conference, her speech was considered the best because she said, this was soon after 9/11. She said, give women a chance and non-violence will be the religion of the next millennium. So women, and she felt that peace and prosperity are interlinked. There can't be any peace without prosperity. There can't be any prosperity without peace. So I was so happy to be considered as the first chairperson of Women's Movement for Peace and Prosperity. And again, for gender diversity, I'm working through Global Dialogue Foundation, Unity and Diversity. This is one major area we are focusing on. If I go step by step, you want to release the library bulletin first, or do you want to do you want me to complete my talk and then we release the bulletin?
Ma'am, as whatever you feel appropriate.
Well, so we'll go according to the flow. I'll finish speaking what I have to say, and then we'll release.
Correct, ma'am.
All right. So today we have an exceptional speaker with us, Farhana Bora. She's highly motivational and she speaks so well. I met her the first time at a party. It was a kind of page 3 party organized by Nisha Jamwal, who's also a very good friend of mine. There were different kinds of people there. There were page 3 celebrities. There were educationists, there were NGOs, there were women like you and me. But somehow Farhana stood out in my mind, maybe because of the way she carried herself and the way she spoke. And I felt a kind of calmness within her. Her face, exuded peace and calm. So I went up to her and I had a chat with her and I said, Farhana, you must speak to us with our students and motivate them because we are living in challenging times. And this was a long time ago, about a year and a half ago. Somehow we got busy. Farhana travels all over the world and I was also busy with my work. But when the time is right, things happen. And so we decided to organize this today. And I'm very happy to say that Dr. Pishori took up the challenge immediately and he said, we must invite her because he's always motivated by women. So it's so easy to ensnare him. So anyway, so Farhana said that she would like to speak about change, and how to thrive in change because we are really living in challenging times. And it's a reaction of the human body to resist change. Why do we do it? Is out of fear. This fear factor is there, which is a limiting belief that we have. But if we don't change, the environment contrives to bring a change within the system, like the current pandemic. It's creating havoc in our lives. So this is absolutely the right time when Farhana is going to speak with us about how to thrive through these difficult times. Because there are certain things, she's the expert and she's going to speak a lot on this topic. But I feel, a lot has to do with our belief system. We do have limiting beliefs and we feel that everything, we can't handle this, we can't handle that. Because like Obama said, yes, we can, but we continually say in our subconscious mind, no, we can't. So we have to get over that hurdle. And it has a lot to do with, the plasticity of the brain. The brain is really a plastic organ. We feel that the brain is fixed, but no, there's something called neuroplasticity. Our neurons and the neural pathways can develop. They used to say that up to the age of 5, after that you can't develop. Focus on the child till the age of 5. No, there are new researchers that are coming out now that say that the brain is eternally plastic and it can change depending on the inputs we put in, because we thought that the seat of emotion was based in the amygdala, the hypothalamus, and that's the emotional seat. But then there are synapses in the brain which carry our thought processes forward to our frontal lobes and our parietal lobes, which again, these are neurotransmitters and they're all chemical changes in our brains which we can be the originators of that change if we believe in ourselves. So we have to believe that it is possible instead of saying, oh, there's peace is nowhere. It's a very common thing we heard. If we change it from nowhere to now here, we just put a little gap in between nowhere and we change it to now here. We start believing that peace is now here. So it's up to us how we control our lives. So, and our subconscious mind is also very, very strong. That is about, I think, 95%. Is it 95 or 75% of our brain? We hardly use, we don't use the 95% of our brain. We use only the 5% of our brain. So if we focus on all these issues, we can really go ahead in life. And you spoke about releasing the library bulletin. I've always felt that the libraries are the core of our educational system. And it's the students who visit libraries all the time, they are the ones who excel in life because there's so much research out there. We can't just read normal textbooks and hope to excel. And people thought that with the digital deluge coming, libraries, the physical libraries would be extinct. But so far, it hasn't happened. We still have these hallowed halls of learning because the digital media has a kind of a restriction. Digital media is not a library. Library is deep research. The digital media is just a collection of books and magazines and everything. They just put it up on the net and say we are the library, but it's not so. So later on, it may happen bit by bit. They'll collect all the research and we may have a digital library. But till then, we are lucky that we have a physical library. So I'm very happy that I'm really privileged and honored to release the library bulletin. And thank you again for inviting me. And thank you
Thank
for
you so much.
coming.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This library bulletin, I would invite our dear librarian, Mrs. Lijimol Benny, to talk about it. Lijimol Benny, over to you.
Thank you, Reverend Madam. Good morning to all. I am delighted to inform you that our MMK library has come out with the first issue of this library bulletin during this lockdown period. Since our library's collection is more of print materials, library users are not able to access it currently. To overcome this difficulty, the college library is publishing a bulletin. The aim of this library bulletin is to assist the students and teachers to access the study materials and other useful authentic information available online without any hassles. This bulletin has the link for open educational resources freely available on internet. The users have to click on the link provided in the bulletin to reach the original sources. Moreover, it is arranged by students category wise and also by the type of resources. I sincerely hope that this bulletin will serve as a helpful tool for reference during this lockdown period and also in the future. My sincere thanks to our respected principal, Dr. Pishori sir, for his encouragement, suggestions, and support during this new endeavor. I am grateful to my colleagues, Mrs. Sneha Bengar and Mr. Gagan Singh, for their help and support for preparing this bulletin. My sincere gratitude to Madam Maya Sahani Madam for releasing this library bulletin. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Liji ma'am, our dear dynamic librarian. And as ma'am, just to inform you that this endeavor is one of its kind in University of Mumbai colleges. So we are very proud of having a library bulletin. Moving ahead, coming on to my favorite part of this particular program, it is my pleasure to introduce today's speaker. And as we know, today's speaker, Mrs. Farhana Bora. Mrs. Farhana Bora is a successful, self-motivated entrepreneur with over 25 years of extensive global experience. Farhana has an MBA in marketing and has started a career as a lecturer in Xavier's. She's taught in St. Xavier's College, in Xavier's Institute of Communications, and in Casey College. Farhana is a licensed business facilitator dedicated to empower people to lead healthier, happier, and successful lives. She's certified by many transformational change masters, including Stephen Covey and Louise Hay. Farhana is a master of Reiki, and her prime belief is that our thoughts create our reality, and a change in thoughts is a change in life. Farhana has held many successful workshops in the field of changing lives for the better, and she has won an award in Excellence in Positive Transformation. So over to our speaker for today, Mrs. Farhana Bora. Farhana, can we please see you on the screen?
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much. And it's wonderful to be on this platform. Mrs. Shahani has said so many amazing things about me. I'm almost humbled, Mrs. Shahani. Thank you so much. Thank you for your group to invite me and to give me this honor to be here. It's completely my pleasure. You have said so many take homes out here. So a lot of work that I do on change is NLP. It's the neuroplasticity of our brain, which is equipped to change all the time. We are creating synapses and neurons constantly, and we are firing away with every change that we bring in our life. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Kishori. Thank you, Ravneet, for assisting in this wonderful workshop. And now let's begin. Welcome, everybody that's listening to me. And it is a change to be on this platform, on this virtual platform. But you know, change is constant. It is the only permanent thing in our life. And yet, for so many years that when we heard change, we were still in very, very familiar territories. So it was change of a new job, it was change of a new work environment, relationships, school, colleges, maybe even a city, but never has the world collectively moved towards this kind of change that we are now witnessing. This change is unprecedented. There is no learning from it. We are in really challenging times today, and yet we can be adaptable, we can be agile to come out better versions of ourselves. Because at the end of the day, to be adapting to your environment, to be understanding that we can be agile here, we will be more successful. So join me in Thrive Through Change. I am really delighted that we have more than 2,000 people right here listening to us. And I'm hoping to create an aha moment when all of you just have a slight bulb going on with what you have listened to me. So before I get there, where does this all happen? Where is this drama happening? The external world is happening out there. How am I allowing the external world to filter into my mind? It's all happening in our mind. The mind is just like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets and the more it expands. So just like you go to a physical gym and you get yourself stronger, we have the same thing with our mental toughness. We can be tougher, we can be stronger. And being strong in the face of adversity and challenges helps us cope with life better. And it starts with us consciously. So resilience is actually like building blocks. You know, it's a continuous process. So it's not like I'm 6 feet tall and I'll remain there. No, in fact, I love to describe it like a leaky tire. It's always leaking air. You always need to keep on pumping air in there to keep on being stronger. And the air is the many different things that you can do. So I'll get there. But before I get there, a rhetorical question. Where do we all live? So I don't want addresses here. We all live in one superstation. We live in our mind. This drama is all unfolding in our mind. So your mind is capable of making you live positively or creating negative patterns. So you will see that. You can see that either in your home or around your family or your friends. You could be sharing the same reality. How you come out of that reality is your strength to yourself. So right now, I am smiling in the camera. So I want all of you to smile with me. Please smile into the camera. And then on the loudest voice possible, in whatever space you are, wherever you are, I want you to shout, I am amazing. Okay, so really loudly, I am amazing. You know what? I didn't get the right feel. I know I'm kind of energy tuned. So once more, I am amazing. So what I have done is create a positive feel out here in your brain somewhere, because we are acknowledging the fact that we are amazing. This is one positive feel that makes you mentally stronger. So much research done. Optimistic, positive people are mentally stronger. The more positive we are, the more we can face adversities. So again, are we born with mental strength? No. Is a child actually born to be super strong? No. We take the steps along the way, both physically and mentally. So when kids are born, you can see it right here, they're all happy because our brains are really complex machinery. If they are well oiled, they perform to optimum. So you have kids who are always smiling, they have a twinkle in their eye, they are always happy. And then over time, something happens. I call it life. Life happens. Something happens. We allow a lot of negativity to filter into us. Now, this negativity could be so many different things. It could be around us, well-meaning parents, family, school, college, relationships, peers, sports ground. So many things take over. So what is really happening? We are allowing our non-positive brain to affect us. When our non-positive brain affects us, we change. And these are different saboteurs. So we could have somebody who is judgy or controlling, and we are allowing these belief systems to filter into us and changing us from being positive to negative. And these are constantly at play. So if you're looking at a change, if you're looking at changing, go back to the main source. Go back to the mecca of thought, your mind. Your mind will make you more happier and more control over your mind. And finally, your thoughts. Your thoughts are continuously creating your reality. We'll get there. We'll get there. There are lots of tips and techniques on how to build this. So today, besides emotional intelligence, there is positive intelligence. So your IQ was first, then your EQ, and now we know the positive quotient in your brain can make you live a happier life. Happier people are more creative. They are far more happier in their space, so they can overcome a lot of problems and challenges. So I'm a big advocate of being more positive. So a lot of times people say, this differs among people. So sometimes you see people who are constantly happy, and then sometimes people who are not. Some people can see the cup half full, and some people half empty. So I have a third take on this. Go and refill your cup. Refill your cup. It's your cup. You have the option of how you want your life to pan out. Research has been done. Are we happy by ourselves? So yes and no. 50% of how happy we are is in our genes. 10% is in our lifestyle. So we all think a lot of it is in our lifestyle. No. A lot of it is the 40% is our thoughts, is our actions. So 40% is what I am working with. The 40% to be able to choose, I'm going to be happy. So there is Viktor Frankl. He's a Holocaust survivor. So he's been through an unimaginable life. He wrote in his memoir, the last of the human freedom is our attitude towards our experience, to choose how we will allow this experience to affect us. So even though he was in unimaginable circumstances, he chose to go through that experience and come out as a better person. So the ability to be able to rethink our reality and to rethink our experience that we are going through is how powerful we can be through it all. There is a guru. So a lot of my work is based on a lot of gurus that I follow. So there is this master, he's called Dr. Joseph Murphy, and he's written this wonderful book called The Power of the Subconscious Mind. So like you can see, the mind has been divided like an iceberg. So what you see on top is the conscious mind. It's a very small portion of our mind. It's only 10%. 90% is our subconscious mind. So now think, where are we operating from? Are we operating from our conscious mind or our subconscious mind? Our conscious mind deals with logic. It deals with things that will make sense to us. But does it run our life? No. It's our subconscious mind that runs the show. The subconscious mind has so many belief systems there. It's all the belief systems that we have accumulated from the past, life experiences, childhood experiences. These belief systems are constantly at play. And then how we think, how we feel. Finally, how we behave. How we behave is what the world sees us. But why we behave that way is in our past. So I'd love to give an example of this amazing person that I'm a master trainer of, Louise Hay, where our thoughts create our life. So there's a small example here. We are like a gardener. We are constantly planting thoughts into our subconscious mind. Incidentally, we have 60,000 thoughts in a day. Now, how many of them are repetitive? How many of them are positive? And how many can be a chain of negative thinking? You need to be aware, what are we planting out there? Our subconscious mind is listening all the time. It's listening to everything that is going around us. It's listening to the external world constantly. How I allow the external world to affect my internal world is the more power I bring to myself. So coming back to being a gardener, when you are plowing a seed of a tomato tree, you do not get an instant tomato tree. Similarly, when you are sowing positive thoughts into your subconscious, you will reap them somewhere. But it will take time. You need to nourish them. You need to understand that this is the power of thought. And positive thoughts will lead you into a positive life. Every new choice you make is like planting a seed. Every new thought you make, every new awareness you bring into yourself is that. And everything that you plow into your subconscious mind, you will reap somewhere in your body or the environment around you. When I say body, we have a psychosomatic connection between body and mind. So if our beliefs about ourselves is so important, and every belief that I'm having in myself is making my life, Dr. Rosenthal did a small experiment that do our beliefs actually change our result? He did this wonderful experiment where he went and teamed up with the school. He told the teacher that there are some really high performing kids in A class. He gave the names to the teacher. The kids did not know about it. Nobody else besides Robert Rosenthal and the teacher. The teacher was said, do not pay extra attention to them. But I think we've got geniuses in this class. They tested their results before they started this experiment. And then they retested it after 1 year. Every single kid that was said would outperform, did outperform. Now, why did that happen? Because there was some transference that the teacher may have unconsciously done to the kid. And in that, the kids started believing more in themselves. So I like what Mrs. Shahani said. When you can, you can. And when you can't, you can't. The one person that will make you what you are is only yourself. We have one life to live. Let's live it big. Let's live it grand. I'm sharing a small video with you for 1 minute. It's on the Harry Potter series. Some of you may have seen that.
Good luck, Aaron.
I'm counting on you, Ron. I've 2 games on Gryffindor, yeah?
Who's that? What's he wearing?
Good luck today, Ron. I know you'll be brilliant.
I'm resigning. After today's match, McLagan can have my spot. Have it your way. Please.
Hello, everyone. You look dreadful, Ron. Is that why you put something in his cup? Is it a tonic? Liquid luck. Don't drink it, Ron. You could be expelled for that.
I don't know what you're talking about. Come on, Harry. We've got a game to win.
What? Hello? Okay, so now you've seen what a Pygmalion moment can be. This is when people believe in you and when you in turn believe in yourself. So now a small reflection moment. I want you to write 2 positive and 2 negative things that have impacted your life. 2 positive things, something that somebody said to you and you felt that impacted your life. And then 2 negative things that have impacted your life. So I'm just giving you 30 seconds now. Okay, I am a huge believer of Louise Hay. I'm a master trainer of it, and I think our thoughts continuously play out how our life is. Louise Hay says we are each responsible for our experiences. So when I say we are each responsible for our experiences, what do I mean? Stuff happens, right? Again, the same thing. The external world out there is not going to disappear. It's always going to be there. The filters I create in ourselves is the power I bring in to myself. So let's imagine for a moment, stuff happens. Stuff happens to all of us. We get hurt and we may be needed to take to the doctor or the hospital. Now, right here, you have the option of how you are going to react to this experience. Your attitude can shift the experience you are having, and then the memory you've had of it. It may not change the result. You may still need to go to the hospital, but that shift of attitude will change my experience about it. Right now, we are all going through difficult times. Right now, we are going through difficult times, and either you can have the option of the experience that you are having now through these times. So here there are so many examples that I can keep giving of how we can shift our thoughts into creating better experiences for ourselves. So a small one I'll share right now. I was 0 in tech. Okay, I'm not a very virtual person. I'm high energy, impactful in a workshop, and I like to move and I like to talk and I like to interact. And it was a little daunting of how will I really go through these experiences? How will I be at home? How will I be with my family? A positive mind made me appreciate this whole experience. So when I think about it, I've actually had a good time and in gratitude. Our thoughts are creating our reality. How we are thinking is constantly playing out into how real and our reality. Everybody's heard of William Shakespeare. In the play Hamlet, he said, there's nothing good and bad. It's just how our thinking makes it so. And I already quoted Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor. Our reality is happening because of our thoughts. Change your thought, change your reality. So it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. Is it difficult? Yes, it is. Is it impossible? No. Can you be conscious of your thinking? Absolutely. You can be in a mindful state. You can lead a more aware life and understand what is serving you better. So a lot of times people know that we are in a habitual space. You know, we get into this habit loop of our thoughts. You have the same thought again and the same thought again. And again, in Louise Hay's words, if it's one negative thought, it's like a drop. If it's 5, 10 negative thoughts, it's like a puddle. And over time, if it's a continuous stream of negative thoughts, you can drown in that negativity. It could become an ocean around you. So when I say it's a habit, and can you break the habit? Yes, you can. You have created the thought, so go ahead and break that thought. I'm going to do a very, very simple habit exercise with you, a really tiny one. So indulge me out here, all those that are listening. It's going to be so simple because it's just a camera I'm speaking to. I want you to take your hands, okay? And on the count of 3, I want you to clap it. So 1, 2, 3, clap. Now see the dominant thumb that's on your hand, on your fist. Mine is the left thumb, it's dominant. Now I want you to do it again, 1, 2, 3. Again, it's my left thumb. It's habitual, right? So it's going to be the same. Now consciously, I want you to break this habit. I want you to take your other thumb. So 1, 2, 3, the other thumb on top. Again, 1, 2, 3, the other thumb on top. Now, is that difficult? Yes, it is. But if you bring mindfulness into it, if you say, okay, I'm consciously going to change this, can you do it? Yes, you can. So again, a small little personal anecdote about myself. So I've lived a fairly long life. I always woke up in the morning and I needed a cup of tea to wake up. Okay, so it was first my tea and my newspapers. It was me time. When lockdown started and 1 week into it, I realized that my tea would become 2 cups and I would be lazy. So I said, no, let me change this lifelong habit. And I'm talking about university, college, school habit. I went to school in England. I'm talking about those times too. It was always a cup of tea and something to read. I changed it. Wake up in the morning, change the habit. Have a shower, start your morning fresh. So that's a small thought that's changing a reality for me today. So when we resolve negative emotions, we have a lot of negative emotions in our life. All of us are. We are a bundle of emotions. And anybody who says they are not human. It's a ticket to be born to be human. We are emotional. And of course, with emotions come drama. There is absolutely no other way. Emotions are there in everybody. But when we have so many negative emotions and it plays out in our mind, I think we need to resolve them. So how do you resolve them? Like I said, the external world is not going to change. It's only the internal world. Free yourself from the negative things you have in your life. So all of you have something next to you. A phone is definitely there. I want you to pick up your cell phone. All of you, pick up your cell phone. Look, I've carried my cell phone. Now I'm going to stretch my hand as high as possible. Okay, it's right up to the sky. And now I'm going to tell you, just hold that for the next 1 hour. Hold this cell phone for the next 1 hour. I can see some of the participants have put the phone down and they have smiling at me in the camera, but I'm still holding that. That is the emotional baggage that we carry in our lifetime. Day after day, we sleep with it. Put your emotional baggage down. It's not helping you. Those emotional baggages are making and draining our life. We don't need it. So now at this point of time, quick question again, right now, are you happy now as I'm talking to you, right now? Okay, I can feel the energy. People are going, yes, I think I'm okay now. I'm okay now. So now you are fine. That is the power of now. That is the power to live mindfully. If you bring the now into it continuously, your life will change. So things happened in the past. It's gone. It's over. There may be so many things everybody has gone through. Disappointments, trust issues, heartbreaks, not good grades, didn't get the right promotions, didn't get the right job, didn't get the right relationship. It's in the past. Bring attention to today. You're okay today. What will happen in the future, we all don't know. But why live in fear and anxiety and anxiousness? It's in the future. Let it be remaining there. Bring your power to yourself. It's called the power of now. I have a number of books and a number of thought gurus that I talk about. The power of now is extremely powerful. And finally, and there are many things that Louise has said, but I've just picked 5 of them. When we truly, truly, truly love ourselves, when we really love ourselves, the bottom of the heart, everything works for us. I need to first love and approve of myself. I need to be honest with myself. So there's a big word I use always, honesty. Honesty to myself, to my life, to my relationships, to my work. When I am doing all of that, and if things go wrong, why should I criticize myself? Why should I be guilty? Guilt is a huge factor. A lot of women carry that all the time. And I know there must be a lot of women in the audience right now. Don't. Love yourself. Everything in your life will work out. That's the power we have. That's our thoughts that are creating magic. That's building your mental toughness. That's making you more mentally resilient. So to put it in context, our thoughts create our feelings. Our feelings create our behavior. But there is so many things that are happening between thought and feeling. There is a huge filter we can create. Thoughts to feeling to behavior. Like I always say, the gap between stimulus and response is my intelligence, Bring that in. And how I behave is how I finally plan my life out. It's our actions, it's our habits. See if it is on a constant overdrive. Like, am I just reacting or am I responding to it? And it's not easy. It's not easy. So nowhere am I saying it's easy. It's very easy to get into a reactive mode. We all do. I do too. But with little bit of patience, you can respond. And with little bit of awareness, you can walk out of situations that are not serving you well. So maybe geography in our life, but we can change the mental geography. The physical geography will always remain, but we can change the mental landscape. I hope you all are listening to me. Anyway, so now quickly, for a quick exercise, a very quick exercise, I do not want you to think of the color red. Please do not think of the color red. And I repeat, do not think of the color red. 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. I want to see how many people thought of the color red. So usually I get more than 80 to 90% saying a thumbs up to me. Now I have 2,000 people on live or YouTube listening to me, so I'm not seeing a lot of thumbs up, but I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up with people, the few participants that are right here with me. Why? Because I said, do not. The negative emotion is so strong in us. It's our instant mode to go to. When we say negatively something, do not do something, we will go there. So there are many examples that I can play out where somebody may have told you in the past, don't do this, or you can't do this, you will never do this. That will be your reality. And how sad is that? Why should you make that your reality? Make your reality what you choose of yourself. So Richard Wiseman wanted to check this out. Are people born lucky? Or is luck something that just happens to them? So he did this experiment between X amount of people. I think there were about 150 participants. And he said, how many people think they are lucky? So some of people put their hands up. How many people thought they are unlucky? And again, a group of people put their hands up. Now he distributed a newspaper to all of them, to the lucky and the unlucky. And he said, whoever gives me a reaction of how many newspaper articles are there will win a prize. Now guess what happens? Simple thing, got a newspaper, how many advertisements there are in that newspaper, very easy to count. The lucky group took between 10 seconds to 30 seconds. And the unlucky group took more than 2 minutes. Now why? Because on the second page, there was a loud, big advertisement that said, there are 42 advertisements in this newspaper, and tell the researcher that and get your prize. Now, Mr. Lucky, the lucky group, was tuned on to this reality. It was tuned on to thinking that they are going to be lucky. And when you think good things are going to happen to you, most of the time it will happen. Self-doubt is a huge killer. And who's told you that life has to be hard? Where are those belief systems coming from? Why does life have to be hard? Why does money have to be hard? Why does relationships have to be hard? Think about it. Are these belief systems that you have got from your past? I don't think life has to be hard. I think it has to be sailing. It has to be cruising, whether it's COVID times or no. My reality, I'm creating every day. So right now, I'm okay. And right now, you are okay too. So final question to everybody. How many people are going to win the lottery? Now, lottery is a metaphor. How many of you think you are going to win that dream job, the dream relationship, the dream boyfriend, the dream girlfriend, your maximum marks, your entry into college? How many of you think you are going to win that lottery, that metaphor? Okay, so there's one common factor there between everybody that thinks they are going to win this lottery. One common factor. So what is the common factor there between those who think they are going to win the lottery? The common factor is go buy the ticket. Go buy the ticket. Take the action. Do the steps towards your goal. Nobody has told you life is going to be giving you everything. It's not. It's actions. So many years ago, I think maybe 20 years ago, I've been wanting to run a marathon forever and ever and ever and ever. And even though I teach this, we are still human, everybody told me you can't run the marathon. And of course, how? At a certain point, when you're not an athlete, you aren't into running, you have not done it as an active sport, how can you run the marathon? Somewhere last year in June, I decided I'm going to change this. I am going to run the marathon. So it was baby steps. Those were the actions I took. And I ran the marathon in January. Was it easy? Absolutely not. Most difficult. Was it impossible? No. But the fact that I said I can, I did it. So now moving on, I'm also telling you that we can alter our experiences. Can we also alter the end result, our reality? Past example here, very interesting. So listen to me really carefully out here. A Japanese researcher took 13 students and they were blindfolded. 13 students were blindfolded. Now they took their left hand and they rubbed it with a shrub, a harmless shrub. And he told all the 13 students that is poison ivy. Now, incidentally, poison ivy gives you a very bad allergic reaction. He told all of them it's poison ivy. All 13 of them, every single one of them broke out into an allergic reaction. Everybody broke out into an allergic reaction because they were expecting the poison ivy. Now, he again blindfolded them. He took their right hand and he rubbed it with poison ivy. And he told them it's a harmless shrub. Only 2 people broke out into the allergic reaction. So what does it say? Our mind is expecting something. Our subconscious is reacting to what we are saying. And that reaction is very real. If we always say a negative to our subconscious, it will react that way. So now I want to go back to the reflection moment where we wrote the negative. I want you to change the 2 negatives into positive. Please change the 2 negatives that you wrote about yourself. It has no place in your life. Change it into 2 positives. Anything that you thought, wrote, change it into positive. So is mental strength important? Is it important to be mentally strong? Yes, and I can give you, I don't know how many hours and hours of explaining why you need to be mentally strong. But I just picked on 4 salient ones, only 4 salient ones. Mental strength helps us to learn from mistakes. Okay, we all make mistakes. We are fallible humans out here. We're constantly making mistakes, whether it's at work or it's in relationships. But when you're mentally strong, you do not beat yourself up. You learn from your mistake. You learned to understand where you went wrong. You stop criticizing yourself. And when you get out of the negative mode, you do get stronger. Mental strength gives you the courage to face your fears. So there is uncertain times, unpredictable times we are going through. And when you're mentally strong, you can face those fears. So I have a lovely saying, and you can actually just remember this. It's called ABCD: adversity, belief, consequences, disputation. So there is an adversity right now we are going through, COVID. There is a belief system that is being thrown to us from everybody, and it can be, again, a list of them. What are the consequences? You need to understand that and then dispute it if it's not serving you well. So I'm not telling you to be unsafe at all. I'm not telling you not to wear a mask. I'm not telling you to be false positive, but to understand that I cannot allow these filters to go into my internal world and handicap me and make me paralyzed of how not to live through these times. To be mentally strong is to understand we are all going to come out of this. And we have to believe that. Hope is a big elixir of life. Being in gratitude is a huge elixir of life. I'm constantly in gratitude for everything I say. I always have my arms upstretched to the sky to say thank you. Thank you to the universe for what we have today. Mental strengths also help you manage your emotions. Whether you feel down, you know how to pick it up. You know how to pick me up. You need to be having that mental resilience to be able to manage emotions. And life is filled with emotional highs and lows. It's like a roller coaster ride for some, we are constantly facing that. How you regulate your emotions, how you keep them in place, how you discard your negative emotions, that's where your mental strength is. It also allows you to free yourself from criticism, and unhelpful advice. So there'll be a lot of criticism that, you know what, you don't know how to live, you don't know how to do. Stop right there. Be stronger. Be stronger. Bring positivity. So there are many different ways to enhance your positivity. But one of the few things I say is bring value to your day. Start your day with a purpose. Don't let your 24 hours just roll away. The morning is there. That's the time of the day. Bring purpose to your day. Bring your day to mean something. So there are a lot of tips and techniques that I will be sharing. And now I want you to subscribe to my workshop. So when it flashes the details of my workshop, please subscribe to it, because there is more than 10 tips and techniques that we will send you on how to build your mental resilience, on how to be stronger, on how to be coping with today's time. Finally, we are looking at thriving through this change. I don't want you to survive it. I don't want you to look back and say it was a horrible time in my life. I want you to thrive. So please subscribe to my workshop. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm constantly posting some affirmation, some thoughts, some social relevant thing. But few things I will share with you right now quickly. If we accept that we live in an imperfect world, we always did. Change was always around us. It would be a really good idea, firstly, to be mentally fit. So start your day with a purpose. Exercise. The mind-body connection is huge. Right in the beginning, lots of advice was given. Exercise is a big factor. Now, again, there is space constraint, but we all have space for a yoga mat. We all have space for light music, and we have apps on our phone where you can tune into either an exercise or a yoga app. So please exercise through the day. Big believer of meditation. Meditation is mental housekeeping. So just like we clean our room, we clean our house, we clean our cupboard, we get rid of stuff what is not good. We like a clean environment. Similarly, meditation is a mental housekeeping. Get rid of the clutter that's not serving you well. Sleep better. Lots of times I see people are not sleeping well. Days are rolling away. It's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Sleep. You need that 8-9 hours to rejuvenate, to face the world in a better way, to sleep. Put things in perspective. What is happening today, put it in perspective. Understand that it will pass. It shall pass. The world has survived for so many million years. It will get better. This reality will also change to a better world. Finally, the one factor that I'm going to leave you back behind with, social connectivity. Create some amazing personal relationships that help you cope through these times. Create social connectivity, be connected to your friends, to your family, reach out. We are humans, we are meant to be social. So even though we are not meeting each other, I've not met anybody, I'm very, very socially connected. And being socially connected makes you happier. So life is simple, right? We're creating it through our thoughts. Our thoughts are creating our reality. It's creating our experience. So let's all come out of this better, happier people. And when we grow out of this and we come out, let us change and thrive with that change. So I'm really happy to be talking to you. And like Tal Ben Shahar said, the happiest people don't have the best of everything. They just make the best of everything. The cards you are dealt in your life, you are dealt. Your family, your relationships, your friends, your environment. But how you choose to arrange them. What is the trump cards you want to keep for yourself that are serving you well? That choice you have. You always have that. So to conclude now, a positive mind is the fuel we require to live life to its fullest. Let's lead our life and not let life lead us. I hope you've enjoyed this. We have a lot of webinars on positive psych. We have webinars on honoring boundaries. We have many, many webinars that I'm going to be flashing. But before you go, a big smile, a really big smile, once again into I am amazing. I am amazing. Now have a look at all the different workshops that we are doing. I'm flashing the leaflets right here. This is Positive Psych, Positive Me. How do you get more positive? How we can cope and change ourselves to be more positive in this world. There are learning techniques right here. There is another amazing workshop called Dare to Dream. This is for people who believe that they want to dream big. Again, tips and techniques, join our webinar. Tell us that you want to be part of these webinars. Send us an email, subscribe to me. Honoring boundaries. You know, relationships are one of the toughest things in our life. Most of us will agree. Relationships between our family, our friends. How do we maintain better relationships? How do we bring power to ourselves? How do we create a more positive environment? How do we let things go? Just let things go. Things that are not serving you well. So we have the tips and techniques on how to build our mental resilience that you have been listening to. Please subscribe to us on Meraki.in. We blog all the time. We send you an affirmation. Instagram Farhana_Bora. Please follow me. I'm hoping to create a little change in this world. I'm hoping I have created a little aha moment in your life. Love to hear your comments. You can always reach out to me on my email. I will personally reply always. Thank you so much. Thank you for the college. Thank you to everybody for having me. Thank you, Mrs. Shahani. Thank you for the kind words you sent. Thank you, Mr. Pishori. Thank you, Ravneet. Lovely. Thank you so much. Appreciate.
Thank you so much, Farhana. I think you were busy talking, so you did not look at the comments. And, there are comments coming. Pan India, we have people joining us from Nagaland, from Jaipur, from Vishakhapatnam, from Delhi, from all parts of Maharashtra. In fact, hinterlands of Maharashtra, so that's really encouraging. I would just first like to, give you a little of what these, as I said, you were busy in your presentation. People have said that it's a very informative and well-explained session, beautiful session. Lots of gratitude to you, ma'am, for taking us through this presentation.
Thank you.
Absolutely delightful. Thank you so much for motivation, ma'am, after a long time in these sad COVID times. And people again and again are requesting you to share your PPT. So Farhana, please, if you could leave us with a Google link or something so that we can share your PPT with all the participants.
Sure.
And one of the participants has also said that this is such a refreshing session. And I wonder why my children were not there with me today to hear you. So I'm so happy that today's session has been live on YouTube. And we have it is playing on YouTube. So if the participants want, they can replay it. If it was only a Zoom session, they would have found it a little difficult to get the recording from us and then, replay
Right.
it. But it is so nice that it is now on the virtual platform and everybody can, if they want to see it again, they can do that. So thank you so much. And now I request the participants to ask questions. Can you please type in your chat box, the YouTube, chat box, which is there. And Baya, please help us in transferring or putting the questions in our chat box so that I have noted down some questions while the participate.
So why don't you start, Ravneet? Maybe you can start by the time the type.
Yes. Let me start with some questions that were going on. As soon as you started, the questions started coming. So I was like, hello, give us some time, maybe she'll answer your questions in the presentation itself. But a lot of questions started pouring in. So I would start with those particular questions only. This is a question from one of the students, and I want to start with this because I think this is a problem with all the students face, and we keep telling them, but we are not experts in this field. So I think they've now met the right candidate for this. So a particular student is asking this question that, ma'am, I'm a below average lazy student. I know I can do well and I know I can study, but my only problem is procrastination. How can I, not do this? So procrastination is this, my dear student, problem. So please help him out.
So hi, dear student. Procrastination is the problem with lots of us. It's not yours alone, number one. And the fact that you are actually owning up to the fact that you have this as a problem is the number one key to change. See, end of the day, you need to be aware of a problem before you can change it. So why don't we take baby steps? Okay, I have a beautiful thing which is called the 2-minute rule. Again, if you subscribe to the Meraki website or you send me a private email too, I will send you how to deal with it, but I'm sharing it with you. Let's do little baby steps out here. If you have to do, say, 10 pages of anything, can we start with half a page? Can we start with 4 lines? Something that is so small, that is so easy to do, extremely easy to do. So when you start, make a start. It's called a 2-minute rule. You start doing something only for 2 minutes. You start building strength to understand that 2 minutes is achievable every day or whenever you need to do it. Create a timeline. I need to do this, say, 5 times in the week. Only 2 minutes of it. You will see by the 5th day, your 2 minutes will be gone in a second. And then you can build up to 4 minutes and then maybe 10 minutes. So everybody who's procrastinating out there, please get out of that space. We've seen the movie Mask of Zorro. Okay, so we have this amazing Anthony Banderas who thought he was a swashbuckling hero, and he met the actual Zorro at one point, and Zorro just killed him in a fight. You know why? Because he did not create the circle of control. When we have a circle of control, a tiny ring of control around us, only a 2-minute task, only a 5-minute task, whatever it be, we start getting control in our life. When you get control over something and you do it repeatedly, see, it has to be done repeatedly, but keep it very tiny. You will start controlling it and then you will form a bigger circle. So over time, the 2 minutes can extend itself to 10 minutes. And finally, when your task gets completed, give yourself a pat on your back and say, I'm not a procrastinator. Do not bring that into your subconscious. I can deal with life. I'm being lazy. Please wake up. Shower twice a day, exercise. Wake up. No reason to be lazy at your age. I hope I answered this well, Ravneet. But they can reach out to me privately.
Absolutely. So now I would take the liberty to choose a particular question, a mom question, I would say, because I'm also a mom, and I'm sure another mom can answer this very well. So I have picked up this question from the chat box. It is coming from a lady who's in Vishakhapatnam, and she is saying that, as you said, childhood experiences occupy our subconscious mind. And does rightful scolding lay a negative impression on the kids?
Rightful scolding. You've used the very, very right word there. We have to be tough with our kids. End of the day, we are preparing them for adult life. We are. And how can we pander to their emotions? Is the world going to pander to their emotions? So rightful scolding, absolutely not. There is something like tough love. It's called tough love. And I don't doubt myself as a mother. It's not been an easy ride. I have 2 kids. It's not an easy ride to bring up good, honest, good kids. So when I say good, it doesn't mean marks. It just means a good human being. Because finally, when you're a good person, you're appreciated as a good person, your potential will rise. And we are not all meant to be geniuses. So we can only do one thing, is rise to our best versions of ourselves. So please tell the mother to relax. Please tell her to relax. Yeah, or the fact that you have used such a right terminology, please do not feel guilty. You are the maker of your kids' life. You are sending them out in this world, which is not going to be maybe kind to them, maybe not. So, you have to be correcting your kids. Yeah.
Another question for Hannah. This is coming from a participant who is in Jaipur. And he's saying that I'm working in an organization and we don't get credit for the work that we have done. And all the time, my superior takes away my credit. So I'm very positively motivated. I work to the best of my abilities. I always tell the same things which you have said to us before, every night before I sleep. But still the superiors take away all my credit. How can I remain positive in such circumstances?
That's really interesting because we all have gone through that, whether it was in school or it was in college.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I had the answer in my mind and somebody else answered it.
Said it.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been through that.
Yeah.
Let me address it in a little more serious manner. I am really, truly congratulating you that you can be positive even in these circumstances. And yes, of course, we look at acknowledgement. I think acknowledgement is a very big factor for us as humans at any age. We do want to be acknowledged. Look at the people that live with us today, too. I think my staff wants to be acknowledged. But if you have a boss that's maybe a little low in their emotional intelligence, understand there are people who are low in emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence makes you understand what is it that the other person wants. It makes you aware, and it also doesn't condone bad behavior. So there are so many factors at play. The fact that he's not appreciating you, is that your problem or his? It's his problem. It's not yours. You know you're doing a good job. Please appreciate your own self. Love yourself. Leave his appreciation out of it. Maybe you can reach out to your colleagues. Maybe if you require somebody to tell you, I did a good job, maybe your colleagues can fill in that gap. Not all bosses, and unfortunately, not all bosses, not all leaders today. Look at the world where we are being led with. Not all leaders are good leaders. So should it affect me? No. Don't let it affect you. Please keep being positive. Reach out to me. I'm very happy to answer these questions to you privately too, which we can take a little longer too, rather than here. We'll send you something through Meraki too on this. I have something that I have already got that I can send this to you. Siddharth, please take note on this. And we will keep in touch. Please keep being positive and do the mantra of loving yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think this last question we'll take. We still have many questions, but I think we'll have to limit ourselves to the,
whatever
to
you
time
want.
as well. So I'll just take one last question, which I felt was very pertinent. The participant says that very often we use destiny and fate to explain a difficult situation. Is it destiny or karma blended with a positive attitude that matters in today's difficult times?
That's a lovely question. That's truly a lovely question. So I'm a big believer in God, okay? Like a huge believer in God. And I love the way you started your program with the prayer. I think that's wonderful. So the thing that I wanted to say there was a serenity prayer. The serenity prayer says, give me the courage to change the things that I can Give me the, no, make me brave to change the things I can, the courage to accept the things that I can't. And finally, the wisdom to understand the difference. So faith is what? Hope is what? It's this amazing golden light that we have in ourselves, that everything will work out well. The cards I'm dealt with, how I arrange them, is the power I bring myself. Karma, huge believer of karma. Totally. But can we change our karma through our actions? Absolutely. I don't think we are puppets. I don't think God has put me on this world or the higher force or the universe, whatever you want to think about, wherever you are, has put me as a puppet. So I do believe in karma. I do believe in the higher force. I do believe in faith and hope, because that is positivity. If I don't have hope, how do I live? Our hope is allowing us to live indoors and hoping that the world will heal. That is hope. Having faith is knowing it will heal. I have faith in myself. I have faith in the universe that it will all get better. But I also know that we are not puppets. So bring power to yourself. Understand the cards that I explained. These cards are dealt to you. How you arrange them, how you decide to plan your life, work through your strengths. Forget about your weaknesses. It's not important. Work with your strengths. We all can be good at certain things. Play to your strengths. Play to the gallery of your strengths. So faith is there, hope is there. And finally, yes, I really wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
I'm happy to take a lot of questions personally. Please write to me in the email. I will make sure I try and reply to you between today and tomorrow. Always interesting to build a community of change.
Thank you so much, Farhana. I'm really feeling bad because I have like about maybe 50 questions on my chat window, but due to paucity of time, I'm so sorry. I will not be able to, take up these questions. But participants, please, it's my sincere request to you. As Farhana, told you about her Instagram handle, and she told you about the various social media sites she's on, and she gave her your, the email ID also. Please visit www.miraki.com and please share whatever your problems or your questions or your thoughts that you have on today's webinar, and you can always get in touch with her. And she, as you heard her, she said that she will personally answer each of your queries. Thank you so much, Farhana. I wish I had somebody like you when I was growing up. It would have been so easy.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
lovely. I think you're wonderful anyway, you're right. So you've done your parents and you have all done a great job.
Yeah, but as a teacher, I've always felt that we really cannot, cater to the students completely, 100%, because we are not psychologists or we are not, really trained for this. And this is, academics is one thing, but this particular aspect that you spoke about today, I think that really is so important. And I'm so happy that we got you on board. Thank you so much, Maya ma'am, that you gave us, her reference, and principal ma'am, who was always, principal sir, who was always so encouraging. And we just have to mention it to him and it is done. It's like that. So he's ever so encouraging. And thank you so much for your, time today. And I think it was my aha moment. I don't know about others. I'm sure they also felt the same. And as a teacher, I would just like to, tell one last thing before we leave, that as a teacher, I've always felt that giving, explaining something, some aspects or some points through a comparison is what really hits the mind, So I love the leaky tire example that you gave, pumping air, and how different things can affect us. And I also love the comparison of emotional baggage to the held up cell phone. So I think that was really wonderful. And participants, please share your questions with her, and anything that you want to ask, please don't hesitate. And I hope that when we get back to real time, not online, but when we get back to real time and when we get back to college, we can have you like in person. And I think that would be so nice to hear you properly, and we can devote a lot of time to it. Right now, I'm sure we are not doing justice to the whole thing. Thank you so much again. Thank you, Team BIAP. You've done a wonderful job.
Thank you, Team BIAP. Absolutely. Wonderful job.
Thank you so much, Maya ma'am, for joining us. And you are so ever so encouraging. And it's so nice to have you on board. And it's just like when we have you, we are like, okay, the job is like half done. So thank you, ma'am, for your presence. Thank you so much, Pishori sir, for your encouragement. Thank you, team WGDC. You rock. And we really look forward to organizing more seminars. Thank you, Megha ma'am. Thank you, Liji ma'am, the librarian, and everybody. And my dear participants who really motivated us, encouraged us, and the comments are still coming. I really cannot
I
now.
know. I can see it. I can see it in the chat box. There's a lot of questions.
It's like, flashing in a millisecond. So thank you so much. It's so happy. I'm so happy that we could make a difference to so many lives at one time.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You know, all the webinars that I do, I've already flashed that in. Always willing to create a positive transformational space of change. Thank you very much for having me. Total honor.
Thanks. Thank you.
Forward, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you.